Hi guys, welcome to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sol, and those of you who do, welcome back. In today's video, I wanted to discuss with you how to make your revision more effective and to get the most out of your revision period. So for those of you who don't know, I graduated from dental school a year and a half ago, and revision was something that I struggled with quite a bit. But I like to think that I mastered it towards the end. I did pretty well in dental school, and I managed to get a nice DFT DCT post, which is a dental core training, longitudinal dental core training post, which is quite full after. So to begin with, I'd like to say that when you come to revision, don't look at the big picture. When we look at how much we have to study, I don't know about you, but it makes me quite anxious. So make everything bite size. Remind yourself, you're not in the exam now. You're revising, you're preparing yourself to sit the exam. You're not going to sit it now. Don't add extra pressure on yourself. So what I used to do is, initially I used to study at home, and I would find absolutely everything would distract me, or I would find a reason not to, be it cleaning the house, the dishwasher needed empty and my clothes needed washing all of a sudden. I'd not changed my bed sheets, but all of a sudden my bed sheets needed to be changed because I had to study. I'd not dusted the entire semester, but as I was going to study, I needed to dust. So I read somewhere that apparently if you study outside, you perform better, because we have a tendency to want to perform better in front of others. So I didn't really think that would work, because I was always under the assumption that I needed to be studying at home where there were no distractions. But I thought I'd give it a go. So I started studying I think I started by a coffee shop first, because when I went to the library and people would come and speak to me, my course mates, and they'll distract me or they'll make me more nervous. So I started off by finding a really small coffee shop that was quite quiet near my house, and I'd put headphones on and I would just study. And then I'd realized that, my phone is distracting me. So what I used to do, because I still use my phone for timer and, just different things, what I'd do is take the Wi-Fi off and put it on airplane mode, so I could still use everything on my phone, but I wasn't getting distracted by anything. So that would definitely be a plus. So one, try and study either in a library or in a coffee shop. I gradually changed from coffee shop and went to a library. When the library would close, I'd move to a coffee shop. And then number two was put your phone on airplane mode, because you don't want any added distractions. So you don't want anything to distract you. Number three is, I've read everywhere, and I've also been told by numerous people that our concentration span begins to dip. So apparently the most effective studying, so there's a graph for it, and the graph shows that the concentration dips like this for studying. So, and it dips quite low, but you're quite effective every 25 minutes. I tried employing this into my revision, but found that as soon as I was getting into something, like really getting into it, so my 25 minutes would be over. So what I would do is I'd time myself, and I'd give myself 45 minutes, and then I'd have a small break, be it a walk to the restroom, a walk outside, a really short break, no longer than 10-15 minutes max, and then I'd come back and do a different chapter. I'd never spend the entire day on one topic or one chapter. So if, for example, I had Caryology, the study of caries to study, and then for example infectious disease and physiology or anatomy, I'd divide my day between the four. I would not do an entire day of just, I don't know, anatomy, an entire day of just histology. And then when I'd come home, I would watch videos on that topic, and I found that for anatomy and physiology, I really liked Dr. Najib's stuff. I thought they were really helpful. YouTube has so many great tutorials. Find one that you like, that learn the topic first, and then find a tutorial that you like, and it helps cement that. So for histology, shotgun histology, I found was fantastic, really to the point, and it cemented what I already knew. So I really liked that. The other thing I used quite a bit was an app, or is an app, called Quizlet. I don't know if you've heard of it. So I've got my old phone a little broken, so and Quizlet looks something like this. And then so I had, I don't know if you can see it, infection control, pediatrics, periodontology, rubber dam surgery, and then you could just test yourself on it. I'm a little embarrassed to say this, but I would use Quizlet when I'd go to the restroom. So it was a nice little break. You could test yourself. You kind of feel proud when you do get it. And it is repetition. Repetition cements everything. It cements it into our subconscious. So repeat, repeat, repeat. So I used Quizlet a lot. The other thing that I'd heard works really well when studying is involving as many senses as you possibly can. So I have a great sense of smell, and I associate like everything with scent. So if, for example, I smell someone's perfume, I remember a holiday, and I'm sure it's the same for you guys. So what I would do is either chew a chewing gum with a special scent when I was studying a particular subject. It may be just placebo, but it worked. So involve as many scents as you can. For anatomy, if you're studying anatomy, if you're studying the bones, get the bone. You know, in our university, you could actually go to the school and you could borrow the bones for a short period of time whilst you were in school, and you could play with them. So you've got more senses involved. Again, it helps. Drawing helps a lot. Also, colors help quite a bit. When you're writing your notes, if you've got a certain highlighter, highlight certain things. Don't highlight everything. I remember at the beginning when I didn't know how to study, I'd have the entire page would just be yellow. Whereas towards the end of my degree, it would just be one word that was highlighted. And when I'd have the exam or towards the end of it, I could visualize that page in my mind when they asked about something. So make nice notes, highlight it. Well, I found that initially when I was going through notes, maybe, I don't know, 8 weeks before the exam, it would take me an entire week to go through one entire subject, sometimes 2 weeks. The second time I would come to review it, and that's what revision is, reviewing everything. The second time I would come to review it, if it took me 2 weeks the first time, the second time it would take me 10 days. The third time I came to repeat it, it would only take me a week. Towards the end, I wouldn't even need to really review that long. It'll take me half an hour just to flick through the notes, and that would be it. So don't be upset if it takes you too long at the beginning. When this is cemented into your mind, it takes a lot less. Guys, whilst we're on this subject of revision, I made myself really, really ill with exam stress to the point that I lost some of my hair. I gave myself an autoimmune disease and suffered from alopecia areata, where chunks of my hair would fall out. And I noticed this was quite common amongst other medical and dental students that I was studying with. Boys would have little bits of their beards missing. And autoimmune diseases are caused by stress. It's so easy for me to say, don't stress, you know, but try and find a relief for your stress. So for me, it was yoga or the gym. So I would wake up early in the mornings, go to the library, and then when the library would close, it closed early on a Sunday, I would go to a coffee shop. After the coffee shop would close, or after I'd had enough, like after I'd set my goals, or when I'd realized that, you know what, I'm so tired now, I'm not being productive. And I would usually try and do 10-12 hours towards the end when we had a big exam. So for my finals, I would start pretty early and go on till pretty late. So when I'd finish, I'd go to the gym, or I'd see if I can fit a yoga session in if they had a class. And that was just a nice little break. When I came home, I try not to, as hard as it sounds, I try not to think about the exam or how much I'd done that day. And I'd watch a little bit of TV, I'd Netflix and chill, you know, just literally Netflix, watching and chill, because I looked awful, so it wasn't anything else. And so I would just relax and try and get enough sleep. You've realized through experience that when you're tired, you're not as effective. You'd read over a sentence maybe 5, 6, 7 times, and you'd still not get it. And it's because your mind's tired, your body's tired. Try and make sure you get sufficient amount of sleep. It's really hard to sleep when you're stressed, and I realized that I wasn't sleeping well initially. I had problems with my sleep regardless, but what worked for me was I would go through my day. So I'd repeat my entire day. So I woke up in the morning, I had breakfast, so I'd repeat that to myself, and I would fall asleep. Because when you think of the future, when you think of the exam coming up or what you have to do the next day, it makes you very anxious, and anxiety just plays havoc with sleep. So try not to do that. Okay. And the other thing is water. We all know water's great. I don't drink enough of it now. During exam period, I tried to drink loads of water, just because I'd read that water's very good for concentration, for memory. So try and get 1.5 to 2 liters of water in you. And just because you're drinking so much, you'd get regular restroom breaks, which are good when you're studying, your little breaks. The last thing I want to touch on is eating. Make sure you're getting enough nutrients. Exam period is not the time to diet. Make sure your body is getting enough nutrients. Make sure you're eating a well-balanced diet. Make sure you're getting 5 portions of fruit and veg a day, and a portion is a cup. So make sure you're getting 5 portions, and try to aim for those 5 portions to be different. Guys, I hope these revision tips work for you. I hope you're all super successful in your exams. If you can, if you have that luxury, try and start early. I always try and start earlier. Reason being, I don't like that anxiety. I don't like being nervous knowing that I left it too late. If you have started it a little late, don't worry. Better late than never. There's an Iranian proverb which says that whenever you catch the fish from water, it's fresh, meaning it's never too late. Guys, good luck with your exams. You've got this. Stay positive, stay happy. If you've liked the video, please press like down below. If you haven't, press like regardless. You know I always ask that. Make sure you subscribe and happy revision. Bye.